Well, sharks and their relatives, the skates, the rays, and like basically cartilaginous fishes, they appeared on Earth more than 400 million years ago, and that's like longer than dinosaurs. They've been through two major extinctions, including the extinction that made dinosaurs extinct. And after that, they just evolved into like having very different characteristics, occupying every niche in the marine environment to become top predators. Sharks are apex predators. That's why they play a very large part in making part of the ecosystem. Being apex predators, they prey on species down the food chain, and so the presence or absence of sharks actually makes a big change in the community structure. For example, there have been cases that are documented in some tropical ecosystems where, for example, the loss of tiger sharks actually made the numbers of the commercially important species decline, such as tuna. And that's because sharks actually regulate the predators of tuna. And if sharks aren't there anymore, then the predators increase in numbers and hence prey on the tuna.
How soon will it be too late for sharks? We have research that says within 2050, most of our fisheries will be collapsed, and our shark fisheries are part of those right now. So I would say by 2050, we're looking at a full-scale collapse of all of our fish and shark fisheries. So we must start to advocate for better legislation, better patrolling on an international basis. Overexploited means that you're taking more out than can possibly replace itself. 100 of the 400 species are overexploited. There's a difference between fish and sharks. They're all fish, but sharks have a much more specialized reproductive system. They have long gestation, meaning once the egg is fertilized, it develops. It could be 9 months, it could be a year before they give birth. And typically they're low numbers, 2 or 4 for many species, whereas fish strategy, take salmon, take any fish, they have millions of eggs that they spawn. With sharks, with such a low population, it's very hard for them to recover. 20, almost 30 years ago, cod fisheries collapsed in the 80s. They put a moratorium on the Atlantic cod population. In the 20 years, they felt if we gave a moratorium for 20 years, cod have millions of eggs, it will come back. 30 years later, it still hasn't come back. And if cod can't come back, I think we have even less hope for a shark.
Seguro Shark doing on the go Hong Kong and China.
Mà呢啲貨係好多從巴西啊，
巴西嗰啲啊，
係啊，委內瑞拉啊，
委內瑞拉嗰啲，
係啊，南美洲嗰邊啦，
南美洲嘅
係啊，南非都有。海洋好大㗎嘛，
海洋好大咁啊，
海洋你都知海洋好大啦，坐飛機10幾個鐘頭都望落大海。
但好多魚翅喎，真係。
但係你個海洋好大㗎嘛，個人口都咁多啦，全球。咁你個海洋比陸地大咁多，你唔殺晒佢咪，聽日你分分鐘游水佢都咬你啦。
做魚翅都係好難做嘅，
好難做，
因為你貨又貴又少，
點解少嘅？
你鯊魚少咗啊嘛，
鯊魚少咗，
咁啊貨源咪少咯。
點解話鯊魚少咗嘅？
可能話捉得多得滯。
根本佢嘅繁殖力好犀利，好犀利，個曱甴根本就係，即係根本就冇絕種嘅，你放心。我話俾你聽，根本其實嗰啲係就係環保組織喺度搞震，佢就話你係捉啲刺嚟用嗰啲魚就抌落海，根本就係冇呢回事。根本魚就係根本佢用嚟做食品啊、做罐頭啊、做魚生啊嗰啲嘅啫嘛。佢仲有你要明白鯊魚嘅繁殖能力係點樣之厲害。你如果唔係成個魚，你唔去捉鯊魚咧，根本海底嗰啲其他嗰啲好嘅魚，全部俾佢食晒。
冇嘢㗎，宣傳下呢個香港嘅文化嚟嘅，呢啲係啊，香港文化嚟㗎，所以中大試過咪有個嗰個徐校長咪曾經話，即係咩宴會上唔好食魚翅啊，但係你唔好食，你唔好話等於人哋叫人哋唔好食，係嘛？魚翅海鮮酒加燕窩魚翅。皇帝都以前都係供品，皇帝都食啦，係嘛？皇帝唔好就唔會食，唔好就唔會住，唔好就唔會着，啱唔啱啊？係嘛？咁啊，而且呢啲係咁耐歷史開埠以嚟都係有，因為呢啲魚翅咧，佢哋啲人咧就唔識食嘅，係我哋中國人咧就係
佢哋就唔識食嘅，
佢哋就唔知道佢係補，我哋知道佢係即係補，因為呢啲鯊魚係
好多人
有益㗎嘛，係嘛？對人。食落去有益。
Heavy metal toxicity in sharks shows up in many of their tissues and many of their organs, and so when you have a product that's made from those metals don't go away. They will stay in that product. So if we consume those products, we're consuming heavy metals. Mercury poisoning can go into the fetus and it causes brain damage. Literally a fetus whose mother has methylmercury poisoning, you will see parts of the brain just aren't there.
Well, it's traditional at Chinese weddings to serve shark's fin soup because it does mark a sign of prestigiousness, wealth, and face. So you're giving a lot of respect to your guests and your family. It's actually more important to the elder generations because it is just the passing of a culture, a tradition. There are a few couples come in and say, I absolutely do not want a shark's fin soup. Do you have any alternatives you can suggest? We can suggest alternatives. I mean, there's something called the shark's fin pumpkin, which looks like shark's fin, the flesh looks like shark's fin, and you can make that up with the exact same soup base as shark's fin. Parents, if they're paying for the wedding, it's about 70% that they want shark's fin, or maybe even 80. If you're talking about couples of our generation, if they're paying for their weddings, I would say about 50%, 40%. I see changes in people's attitudes. It's very hard for a couple to say later on to their children, you know, we've left this massive carbon footprint and we've destroyed all the sharks because we served it at the wedding. So they want to start off on a good foot.
Since studying sharks, I haven't had shark fin soup anymore, even though it's a very traditional practice, and usually my family would ask me, oh, why don't you have it? But then I I would tell them, oh, I'm not having shark fins anymore because I don't think shark fishery practices are sustainable. And I think it only takes this one little step to tell your parents that you're not having them anymore. It's your own personal choice.
Sharks are very fascinating for people. They're in awe of them. And youngsters are little sponges of information and so influenced in a positive way that we can help shape their future attitudes towards the animals so that they become conservation-minded, environmentally conscious. If I could have a wish, I would wish that others could see the beauty of sharks, the importance of sharks, the elegance of sharks. Through that emotional connection that we form with these sharks, that we would want to protect them, and then we would make changes in our lifestyle to help create a healthier earth, a healthier ocean. We're not part of the problem, but we're part of the solution.